friends, and welcome back to Art Historian. Today we are going to be continuing our discussion on the Renaissance era of art history by talking about Leonardo da Vinci, our second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Renaissance master. This video is going to be a lot shorter than any of my art history teachers would like, but I will go into further detail in some of the things that I talk about in a different video. So Leonardo da Vinci was a painter who came out of Florence, Italy. He started his work in the mid-1460s. He continued his work as a painter into the 1520s. So today we are going to be looking at a couple of different things that make him super important to the art world. And the first thing we're going to look at is a blending technique that he discovered, we'll say, called sfumato. To shed some light on what this technique did and how it looked, we are going to be looking at the painting called Virgin of the Rocks. Virgin of the Rocks was an oil painting commissioned by the Confraternity of Immaculate Conception, and it was created between the years 1483 and 1486. The technique sfumato is used impeccably in this, and that is a very specific kind of blending that makes the figures look so much more realistic. And even the rocks in the background, there was a lot of attention paid to those little details, which made this painting just technically one of the greatest to have existed up to this point. It changed the way other artists painted from this point on, and it changed the standard from kind of down here as far as blending and realistic quality goes all the way. The sfumato that was used in this is also an early nod towards something that we will see done even more intensely in later artists, but that is called chiaroscuro, which is using shadow and light to create a little bit more drama. And in this, it tends to just create a little bit more of a realistic quality, but later it will create a little bit more of a theatrical quality. So one thing that Leonardo da Vinci did is he added a lot of religious symbolism into this painting. And one example of this is the triangular structure that we see our figures of this painting in. And the figures in this are Mary, mother of Jesus, Jesus as an infant, and John the Baptist as an infant. They are accompanied by the archangel Gabriel. So we see this triangular structure that the figures are in, and that is meant to symbolize the Holy Trinity, which would be the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, as in God, Jesus Christ, and the Spirit of God. So this is a very interesting piece because, as you can tell from the background, they are not in a setting that we see here on Earth. It's a very otherworldly, kind of ethereal setting, but it is paired with the figures in this painting looking a lot more relatable and human than we would have ever seen before this. Even just the fact that John the Baptist and Jesus Christ were depicted as infants was a nod towards a much more realistic and relatable quality than we've ever seen before. It was not only important to the Western canon, but it was also important to a couple Northern European artists as well. It was copied by Leonardo da Vinci himself because after the first commission, someone else wanted it. It's not an exact copy. He did change a couple details, but it is very, very close. And it was copied by Northern European artists as well. Another painting we're going to look at to delve a little bit more deeply into Leonardo da Vinci's genius is The Last Supper, which might sound familiar to you. The Last Supper is a fresco, which means that it was painted on a wall in a very sturdy way so that it would become part of the wall in essence. And it was created in 1498, commissioned by the Duke of Milan, Ludovico Sforza, who was a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci's and commissioned several paintings by him. So the context of this painting is, not only does this painting depict Jesus and his disciples dining just before his crucifixion, it also is meant to display the exact moment that Jesus has just said that one of his disciples will betray him. So you see everybody in kind of this candid, like, shock and awe, like, oh, who is it? Not me. So while there's a lot of depth to this painting, there's really only one important quality that I'm going to look at in the interest of time. You're welcome. And that aspect is linear perspective. Linear perspective is creating lines in mathematical proportion for the purpose of drawing the eye to a distinct point. So that point in this painting is Jesus. So we see every line in this piece drawing to Jesus. If you were to draw a point in the center of the painting, you would be able to trace every line, every structure in the painting to that point. And that is just a very brief overview of what linear perspective is, and it is no overview of what it did for art history, but we will get into that a little bit later. For now, I just want you to be familiar with the term linear perspective. I want you to know what it's about. If you have any questions about it, please ask me and I will elaborate more in another video. That is a very brief overview of what important things Leonardo da Vinci did for art history. As you have noticed, I have not even touched on his most famous painting. I wonder what it is, the Mona Lisa. But I will continue to talk about him in further videos. For now, this is what you need to know. This is what's going to carry you forward for the purpose of discussing the Western canon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you back in the next video. If you thought this video was educational, give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel, or both. I've been told about a bell. You should click the bell too. Yes, I do talk about turtles too much. Anyway. The triangular figure that we see our figures take